All right, everybody. So just a short intro this morning, in terms of basically what. So this is the majority of your final assignment, your final culminating. It's going to entail, the course, as they do. Again, a reminder. A couple of things. One, that it's not possible to skip around in the course. You have to keep following each video. If you're behind, you have to follow each video as if the time you're starting things is that day. Follow the instructions, go to the content, do the stuff, hand it in, then you'll see more stuff. Like, it's just, there's no way around that workflow idea. So anytime that you're trying to skip ahead, or you're trying to, especially remember that assignment tab, it's a dangerous thing. If you're using that to submit stuff, it's going to lead to you not knowing where you're going. So just, again, another caution about that. And another thing, so I sent out the progress reports with grades attached. When I go to redo stuff, so stuff that's late and stuff that's resubmissions will definitely not have any feedback attached to it, and late stuff, it just depends on what it is and whether I really think you need to have feedback because you didn't do something, right at all or something like that, like you're just off the track, then I would have feedback there. Otherwise, I'm just powering through because, well, time is of the essence and your stuff should have been in long ago, kind of thing. So I'm not trying to punish anybody. That's just the reality of it. So feedback's not a guarantee at this point, is what I'm saying. The discussion pieces that I have not graded yet is because at the time that I last looked, there were not enough what do you call those things, submissions to warrant grading it at the moment. I'll look at it again and see if that's changed, but I like to try and let the conversation kind of develop a little more before that gets looked at. Okay, so now on to this part. This is the main, this is mainly what's going to happen. I will be changing ever so slightly some of this stuff. Not the focus, not like what you're doing, but maybe what it looks like. And I will be adding one more thing, if not two things, but not significant in terms of adding work, because that's not my goal. But this is actually, so what I did is I took the public course. It's funny, they've done the same. They didn't change the final culminating from when they updated the course. So basically, because it does entail all sorts of things that you would go through here, I'm just going to highlight a couple things in that. All this stuff is stuff we did, right? There's no part of this that is not something we did. Also, just make sure that you see it says do not use I, you, and we. Don't do that, because you don't read that in official documents of anything. You don't read that in anything but really assignments or diaries or all that stuff. It's not a diary. We're making it. We're keeping it real, making it seem legitimate. What else? What else? I know that. So this, one of the reasons that I kept it the way it is because I don't, when I create my own stuff, as people have come to figure out, most of the stuff in the course, by the way, is mine. There are holes in my explanations, and I don't want that on the final culminating. I want everything, all the I's dotted and the T's crossed, because I don't want people getting into it on a Thursday after catching up in the course or whatever, and then having some question that because I forgot to explain something, or I just don't want you to have to go through that. Have to go through that. Yeah, so that's why I went with this, because it's comprehensive and it's all the holes have been plugged, right? No rickety ship of mine that's going to barely make it into harbor. Anyway, that being said, also the other thing you have to remember, and obviously you're going to, when you go to look over the business cycle and all those kinds of things, you're going to hit that pandemic wall, right? And then we're currently in, though, if you look at the current forecasts, right, things are picking up. They're picking up so much that the Bank of Canada is considering raising, slightly, but raising interest rates. So things are on the uptick, but the fact that we're in a pandemic is going to have a big effect on a lot of the stuff that you're going to propose. And also, when they design this, right, they design this without the concept of MMT, which is, again, strange because it was around in 2018, so I don't know why they don't have it on there. But anyway, MMT, it could make significant changes to the way you approach, well, it does make significant changes to the way you approach spending and everything like that. So don't let that, if that's what you want to follow, don't let that curb your plans for spending. Just remember that down the road, like there are different, remember the way MMT works, right? And once, you got to be careful that once the economy reaches its capacity, right, full employment, it's going to have, it's probably going to have inflationary pressures, adding extra spending at that point. So to cool it off, usually they're going to have not spending programs, but they're going to have tax programs. And also remember the tax proposals, remember there are tons of different taxes, and there's tons of ways for the government to take money out of the economy using taxes. So it's not just simply we're going to raise income tax or sales tax. There are other ways to do that. So be nice and creative in terms of your budget recommendations. And then part 4 is a summary of mainly what you did up here. All this other stuff is summarized. That's why it's called a summary statement. So that pretty much covers that, and should be, I think, is pretty clear, hopefully. I will judge by any questions, anything that come in, whether I need to put any additional information on the additional video or whatever. What else? And the thing that I would put in would be like any addition is either going to be a change in formatting in terms of your final product. So this is all for some like charts and written stuff. I might decide, and I'll decide today, by the way. It's not like this morning before lunch. I'll have this stuff all hammered out. Decide whether I want a visual component, I want a video component, something like that. That'll be decided by lunch. And the only thing that I would add to it would be like a case study element. So I'm going to look into that as well. But I want to get this out as soon as possible for you to be able to work on it. Alrighty. So have fun. Viel Glück und viel Spaß, ja.